We've all heard about setting expectations, but in practice, what does that actually mean? Now, in my background as a professional service provider, being really clear with your clients up front is absolutely critical to the success of the relationship. And the same principle applies whether you're a service provider, whether you're a manufacturer, whatever business that you're actually in. It really is important to be completely clear about the expectations of your client. What are they expecting of you? So you can be sure that you deliver to those expectations or exceed them, never the other way around. As a client, we expect to get what we pay for. So when value is here, the fee is here. Obviously, much better if we can have our fee here and value up here. It's always that much better to have those difficult conversations with clients about what is expected before you start your work, rather than in the middle of it, or even worse still, when it comes time to get your bill paid. Have that conversation early. One of the best ways of doing this is not just being clear about what you're going to deliver. Sometimes it's about being clear about what you're not going to deliver. Because in discussing that with your client, then sometimes the client will go, okay, well, actually, I do want that. And that's fabulous. That's an opportunity potentially for your fee to be increased. But if you're not clear about what's not in the scope of the things that you're going to do, as well as what is in the scope of the things that you're going to do, then that's where the crux of most expectation setting problems arise. And a little tip here as well, it is not okay just to put that inside scope and outside scope stuff into a letter and send it off. First mistake, if that's hidden in the detail of page 17 of your quote, not good enough. It needs to be there up front. And even if it is well placed, as it should be up front and highlighted right at the start. So whether it's a product or whether it's a service, the same thinking applies. So if it is in that summary page, if you like, and that's where it should be, that's not enough. We all do it. We all skim over things. We need to have that conversation. This is not a case of being on Tinder and swiping left and right and that's all done and we're good, or sending an email off and then hiding behind it. Have that conversation with the client. Be really clear about what's in and what's not, so when they get the proposal from you, there's no surprises there. The other thing I'd say here is, when talking about some of the work that you might be going to do for a client, I detest the phrase "no problem." Because what that implies straight away in the client's mind, completely understandably, is no problem, it's easy, there is no cost for this, or the cost is minuscule. Now, if that is the case, and it genuinely is a 5-minute thing, or a product that you have there that's very cheap to produce and you can sell it on, fabulous, then no problem. Otherwise, don't underplay what's involved. Don't say no problem if actually there's quite a bit of work in this, quite a bit of thinking in this that needs to go on. One of the best phrases a former colleague of mine many years ago told me was to use the words, do not underestimate the amount of work in this, and more to the point, don't underestimate the consequences of getting it wrong. And that's what the client is actually paying for. Now, you can't use those phrases, you can't use those words if it's not true. You must be truthful in the things that you say. But as a professional service provider, and sometimes too as a product manufacturer or perhaps an app developer, you know in the back of your mind that there's a lot of work in this. So be upfront with the client about that. Set that expectation because it's true, because it's real. Once you've set that expectation, then you've actually created the foundation for a successful relationship. And ultimately, you're more likely to get paid when you deliver.